You're watching Tea and Poetry with Dave Steele, the blind poet.
A good evening, a good afternoon, maybe a good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Great to be here on another episode of Tea and Poetry. I am Barry Asman. I have the honor to co-host together with the one and only Dave Steele, the blind poet. Over the next hour, we're going to definitely be reading some poetry, right? I would say definitely reading poetry.
I'd say so.
Going to be talking about some current events within the sight loss community. We definitely strongly encourage everyone to interact. This is a great platform for everyone to come together, be part of the tribe here, as our dear friend Allison refers to the tribe. And it's just, again, a great community. So we're very grateful that you are here. And I also want to point out there are a couple of ways how you can connect with us. When I say connect with us, that means here live on the Zoom. One, you can raise your hand. And when I say raise your hand, there's a button that says raise my hand. When you raise your hand, that means we are going to bring you into the mix as a panelist. And what that means is that you have a choice to come on with video and audio, or you can just come on with audio, whatever you prefer. You can send a message into the chat, and you can also post something in the Q&A. So there's three easy ways to connect with us. I am constantly monitoring the board per se, and I will do my best to bring you on at the next, earliest opportunity. So again, welcome everyone. It's great to see so many faces out there. New faces. I want to say hello to Dave Epstein, Sedona Dave, coming to us from Sedona, Arizona. What's up, Dave? Good to see Ron, Sandra, Philip, and Travis, of course, and the list goes on. So thank you all for joining us. And Dave, without further ado, the floor is yours.
Okay, yeah, so welcome to another week of Tea and Poetry. As Barry said, it's going to be great to kind of hear from you guys this evening. I know we've got some new faces out there as well as some familiar ones. Lots going on at the moment. We had a kind of quite a kind of emotional hour last week when I was talking about some of the things that happened in my life with my little dip of vision at the moment and the recent bereavement in the family. But, like always, we adjust and we get stronger and we pull together. And I think this is, something that we do here in the tribe at Tea and Poetry. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that tonight. I also want to be talking about that wonderful piece of artwork you've got in the background right behind you. Because, yeah.
Maybe behind me there's some artwork?
I shared it earlier on social media. I saw Dave share it. That is a wonderful piece, but we're going to be talking about that in just a little while as well.
Awesome.
And I'm sure there's a few exciting things kind of going on at the moment as well, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. When you say there's never a dull moment, and we mean that really in such a positive way, there are so many things that are taking shape, and it's great to be here. I'm very grateful just to be here today. And
we had a little bit of a crazy day. Those people who are on here, I know Doreen and Sandra, I was already alluded to it with a little comment on the chat. We had a bit of a strange day here yesterday. For those people who follow me on social media would have seen me post about it. Myself and my son Austin went to a place that is very special to us called Old Trafford, which is the soccer stadium of our team, Manchester United. And anyone who kind of follows football, you may know that United have just re-signed quite a big superstar who was originally with us 9 years ago, Cristiano Ronaldo. So I took him down to Old Trafford to the store yesterday to get the name of on his shirt. And as we came out of the store, we stopped and got interviewed for the news, and Austin spoke on the news and was on there last night, and it was great to see. And For those of you who haven't seen the clip, is
I
on social
saw
media.
it.
Did you see it? It was pretty cool, wasn't it?
Austin is so adorable, and he speaks with such a serious face. Adorable, adorable.
He's a natural. You can tell that he's with kind of the stuff that I've had going on with, over the years with, doing different things which involve being in front of the camera. He's definitely used to it, and he's a natural. And I think the reporter was kind of taken aback by how kind of talkative he was and confident in his.
I was really shocked. I mean, he did such a. Everyone, you gotta go check it out. Go check it out. It's on Dave's Facebook. I picked up. I ended up quite late last night. I actually was able to catch that, and I'm glad I did. It was really nice.
Awesome. So I'm going to kick it off with a piece of poetry. I actually posted this one today. It pops up in my memories. I actually wrote this 4 years ago today, but it just kind of fit with a lot of stuff that I've had going on at the moment, and also the feel of kind of the support that we give here to people who are part of the tribe on Tea and Poetry. So here we go. When everything is getting just too much for you to face, as you mourn for vision loss and what remains is slightest trace, remember you are not alone. These feelings are the norm. You're stronger than you think, and you can weather blindness storm. The scars upon your heart have made you who you are today, and you will not be beaten by what's next to come your way. Your senses are adjusting to this ever-fading sight, but even in the darkest times, eventually there's light. It may not be the life that you expected years ago, but this can be more beautiful than what you'd think or know. The only limitations to the things that you can achieve are made up by the barriers that you yourself perceive. So if you slip or vision dip, know I'm right here to call. With trust in this long cane, we will rise up from any fall. Just give yourself the space and time to find your path again, for I will be here waiting. On this friend you can depend.
There are so many things that are rushing through my head as I take notes as you read. And by the way, sometimes it's difficult for me to keep up with the notes because you'll say something and I'm like, okay, I got to write down. And then you keep going and I'm like listening and I got to write down. We break down, Dave's poetry. I'm sure there are lines, and I know, not for sure, I know that there are words and lines that come out of your mouth, Dave, how they really affect and how they touch everyone. And so when I hear, certain words and phrases, stronger than you think, we are all so much stronger than we think. I mean, this is something that I try to instill as a message every day into my kids. And I'm sure you do the same, is that, there's this you may have the saying, you feel a tap on your shoulder, right? That fake tap. It's like, it's telling you, no, you can't do it. Don't do it. All the, the bells and the whistles, the alarms are going off and saying, no, Barry, you can't. And obviously, we try to train ourselves to have, that positive mindset. But I promise you, whether you're going through an ultra marathon, or you look at individuals who are competing or have just recently competed as Paralympians, who really, push the barriers when they feel that tap and say, no, hold up. I don't think you can get past that line. I don't think you can compete. I don't think you can do it. You have to go, that's the time when you say, no, I can, and I can push myself and I can move forward. And that is 100%, when we know for sure there's more fuel and energy in the tank. So to me, that was a very powerful line. Stronger than you think. We are all significantly stronger than what we think.
I don't think I've ever done anything in my life that has actually been as scary as I first thought it would be. We build things up and we work, I was actually talking to someone today, someone messaged me, we talk about this all the time, that I get a lot of messages on Facebook and try and support people, not just through the poetry, but from, just from speaking to people and having messages. And I got a message from a a young lady who I've not spoken to for quite a while, and she messaged me out of the blue. She's been struggling, and we had a conversation. She was, obviously talking about a lot of things that were kind of affecting her, and how she was feeling about going out and a site and everything else. And she was asking for my advice. And what I said to her was, if I can give you one piece of advice, it would be to not waste your time thinking about how your site may affect you tomorrow, and concentrate on what you can see today and the beauty around you. And I think that's something that I kind of try and instill into all my poetry, is that we spend so much time building things up and talking about what may be, what might come, what might happen tomorrow, and how things might be in the future, that we actually waste that we waste today. And that's something that's really, really important. And going back to that poem, you talk about pulling out lines, and I do this quite a lot, where obviously I post my poetry on Facebook and on Instagram and things like that, but when I go to post on Twitter, it only allows me so many characters, and quite often I can't put out full poems onto Twitter, so I pull out little lines like you do when you kind of listen to the poetry. And I mean, there's one particular one that kind of stuck out for me in that first poem, which is the only limitations to the things you can achieve are made up by the barriers that you yourself perceive.
Dave, that's the next piece here on my list here.
I knew you'd pull that out. But that, this is the thing. I love it when people do that with my poetry, that they pull out quotes, because, those messages, when I hear quotes from famous kind of philosophers and things like that, it's that kind of strong message, that's in those quotes. And when people use it in mine, it's a really lovely compliment for me.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm sorry, Dave. I looking to my left every few seconds, and there are some window cleaners cleaning windows here in the building outside, hanging, just literally hanging from the side of the building here. I've never actually experienced this before, so it's quite interesting.
Are you quite high up then in the?
No, I'm not high up. I'm on the second floor. But okay. I just want to go back, as far as only limitations and barriers as you perceive, that goes with everything, mm-hmm. And I think, even for myself, I'm sure many people out there, we could all overcome barriers, right? I always say there are obstacles that are put in front of us, and, maybe it's not a clear path, a straightforward path, straight through that barrier, whether it's going to be, maneuvering to the right, maneuvering to the left, going underneath, maybe going above. You have to find that path, and you have to challenge yourself to find that path. And I promise, once you find that path, you break down that barrier, and it just goes on with everything in life.
As a parent, I always make a point of saying to my children, every time they achieve something or get past a fear, I always remind them, look, it wasn't as scary as you first thought. It wasn't as bad. Remember that, because when you come to the next time you're feeling that way, remember that it's not as scary. And if you keep reminding them as parents, that is going to kind of set them up for the rest of their life. Always. There's very few things now that I do that I get fazed by and scared. I mean, you've apart from kind of like your day-to-day kind of traveling about with my eyes and things like that, but like the big things that a lot of people really get panicky about, I'm very kind of calm. I mean, you've been there, Barry, yourself, where you've seen me, about to walk on a stage and do this, that, and the other, and I'm very kind of calm with it. I don't get fazed by stuff like that. When I did when I jumped out of a plane at 15,000 feet a couple of years ago, exactly the same, very relaxed. And that is because I always say to myself, it's not as scary.
No, it's so true. And that's what I think, that's just a general, life lesson, break down barriers. And then when that next barrier or something similar, another barrier like that pops up, we are able to quickly, get past that barrier. So,
in very typical kind of tea and poetry, the way our kind of weeks go and how topics naturally just kind of come in to the forefront, Looking at, I can see the picture behind you, and we talk about not wasting our time thinking about the what may be's and what ifs of tomorrow. That picture there, which I'm sure you're going to audio describe for people, is a prime example of visually impaired people with low vision living the beauty of today and living their lives in lots of different ways to the fullest, with
100%,
no
100%.
barriers.
No barrier as well. So I've just stepped to the side for a second. So I'm going to go ahead and describe what's behind me, as Dave has been alluding that there is an illustration. So many of you have seen the illustrations that we've commissioned. We have a Dave Steele TM Poetry illustration. We have a Sedona Dave illustration, and we've got a couple others scattered throughout the office. Now, this particular illustration was recently commissioned for a very special event, and I'm going to get back to that in a second. But I'm going to walk everyone through this illustration because not only did you just say it as far as limitations and barriers, but my colleagues, some new colleagues of mine, are just like drooling over this illustration. They cannot stop looking at this because it's given them a whole new sense on what sight loss is all about, and the excitement that they're part of this is truly remarkable. So I'm going to move all the way to the left, but I'm going to just give an overall description of this illustration. So this illustration takes place on a setting in Miami Beach, South Florida, and it's what's called a beach walk. Many of us know what a boardwalk is, right? But here in South Florida, where I am right now, in South Florida, they've done away with the actual boardwalk, the old, the wood planks and all that stuff. They've done away with that, and over the years they've modernized it, and they've made it into like these pavers. So it's like a beautiful, beach walk in South Florida. It's right along the beach. And so to think about, there's these pavers, this beach walk, it's two-tone. It's like a light gray and has like a pink rose to it as well, and a pattern. And that's how the beach walk goes. And it literally goes for, it's not endless, but it literally goes almost like 100 blocks. I mean, it's truly remarkable. So on the left side of this beach walk, we have green shrubbery. There are palm trees that are scattered throughout on both sides of the beach walk. Again, on the left side of the beach walk, you have, let's say, maybe apartment buildings or hotels. There are buildings, however, way you want to, consider those buildings. We have clear skies with some clouds up in the background, up there as well. And then again, to the right of the beach walk, I'm going to describe what's on the beach walk in a moment, but to the right of the beach walk, we have more green shrubbery, more palm trees, there's sand, and then you have the beautiful Atlantic Ocean. Now to the most important piece of this illustration. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 individuals who are enjoying a moment on the beach walk. And starting off with the first character, we have a young lady wearing a pair of jeans, wearing sandals / flip-flops, wearing a nice pink t-shirt and sunglasses. And she's going on a really nice walk. Let's say it's a morning walk. And she is strolling along with her guide dog. I haven't given the guide dog a name. Maybe what we'll do is we'll ask everyone out there to give us a name for this guide dog. Okay. So we have this lady, she's going for a walk. She's enjoying the beautiful beach walk, getting her fresh air along with her guide walk. To her right on the beach walk, we have a gentleman on a skateboard who's skateboarding with a mobility cane. And I've discussed this before, I've shared. This is really a shout out to my friend, Justin Bishop. the blind skateboarder. And this skateboarder is also wearing a t-shirt, a white t-shirt, blue jeans, skateboarding sneakers. It's got the new Werewolf Gear logo
Awesome.
printed on his t-shirt. And he's wearing sunglasses and a baseball cap, and he is just all smiles because he is really tearing it up on the South Florida beach walk here. Moving along with the illustration, we have a couple who are jogging. Now, it's a male and a female couple. The gentleman is wearing an orange t-shirt, blue shorts, sneakers, sunglasses, but he has sight loss. And if you're wondering, like, well, why? How do we know that he has sight loss? He doesn't have a guide dog. He doesn't have a mobility cane. He's holding on to his companion with a Ramble Tag mobility guidance aid.
Yeah,
okay.
Very good.
So the companion, this female companion, in her white tank top, orange shorts, with her hair up in a bun, she is the sighted guide. And they, as a couple, are strolling down this beach walk and going for their morning jog. And then as we come over further to the right, we have a couple who are both wearing, they're both wearing assistive technology devices. Now, we left it to imagination as far as what devices they're wearing, whether it could be an Orcam, an eSight, whatever it may be. They're both wearing assistive technology. The gentleman is wearing jeans and like a button-down shirt, but his sleeves are up because it's hot outside. He's also wearing, he's got sandals on, but his companion.
Can I ask, Barry, that gentleman there, is he based on anyone particular?
Because
he kind of looks a bit like Lanny.
He does. He really does. And I don't know. I didn't specifically say it, but it just did turn out as if this was Lanny and Sharon.
And Sharon, yeah, absolutely.
And so it could very well be. And again, it's just, I don't know if the artist, if she's, seen, she has seen pictures of Lanny and maybe it was, he was top of mind. But this couple, they're both wearing wearable devices. The female in the couple, she's wearing, Dave, how would we describe that? It's a dress. It's a white polka dot dress on a yellow background, looks strapless. And there's a mobility cane in between them. So you don't necessarily know who has the mobility cane there, whether it's the female or the male. Again, and she's pointing off into the distance. Maybe she sees a cruise ship out there. Maybe she sees a whale out there. Maybe she sees something out there.
It's a great picture. It really is. It's fantastic.
This particular, we've had a lot of illustrations created. And if I tell you the feedback here in the office is just been tremendous. Literally there are people, colleagues that are who are new to sight loss, coming in and looking at this, and they're just and the nice part is they get it. They literally say breaking down barriers.
Absolutely.
So it is truly remarkable. So thank you so much for pointing that out. Now let me share with everyone why we created this. I mentioned I'm in South Florida, and we talk about stronger than you think, limitations, and about a few months ago, myself and my brother Steven, who's my partner together at the Low Vision Shop, we decided that we are ready to expand. We feel that we need to not just expand our community and the work that we do, but also make a greater, continue to make an impact in helping improve quality of life for individuals. And we felt that South Florida would be a great location to help out a large demographic of individuals with sight loss. And so we quickly went into action, and we are officially opened. The Low Vision Shop of South Florida is officially open. We are in Aventura, which is literally equidistance between Miami and Fort Lauderdale. It's in a beautiful, beautiful neighborhood. We're on the second floor. fully accessible building, free parking, covered garage. And, here in South Florida, you get all these rain showers at all times of the day. So it's good to have a covered garage. And most importantly, we've got all the latest and greatest from technology here in South Florida. So this illustration was commissioned specifically for the launch of the new South Florida location. And I'm just very grateful, very humbled to share this with you guys because today is thank you. Today is our official first day as far as being open and welcoming individuals by appointment only to come in, to receive demonstrations, to check out the latest and greatest. And I'm just really fortunate that we are able to do this. And trust me, we say like, of course, that fear factor, do we do it? Is this the right time? You know what? We got it. We pushed ourselves and we did it, and we got it off the ground, and here we are. So
awesome.
Exciting times. And I can't wait. If you guys, anyone's in the area, please reach out.
Can't wait to be in the area, to be honest.
I can't wait as well. So, now we have South Florida and Baltimore, and if you want to call it also New York as more of a satellite, but here we have great presence, and looking forward to working with the community here in South Florida and beyond, and really making a great impact. It's exciting times. So it's oh, thank you, Doreen. Thank you. I'm just looking through here some of the comments. Oh, it's funny. Ken says it looks like it could be in Melbourne. I hear that. It could be maybe Bondi as well, right? Very cool stuff. Yeah, I appreciate that, Ken. Thank you so much. I'm sure, Ken, maybe if you grew up here, you were from the Northeast, but I'm sure you've been down here, South Florida. So it's exciting times all around, and just got to keep breaking down those barriers, because if we don't break down barriers, we're never going to continue to push ourselves and become stronger and better individuals. So, and by the way, we've got coffee mugs already. We've got all sorts of cool stickers.
I've seen some more artwork. Yeah, the other piece of artwork you got in there, big picture.
Yeah,
you sent me.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do. I'm not going to. It's hard for me to get over there right now, but there is a very special picture of myself and the one and only Dave Steele. That picture was taken in the studio in Baltimore, and it's wintertime, so we're dressed for the winter. By the way, I like that contrast, South Florida, and then I have this specific winter picture up here. And Dave, you're holding that Giz a Hand LED mobility cane, where the last, the bottom quarter of that mobility cane, it lights up. We did that, and I'm pointing down at it. It's just, that was to symbolize. I don't know if it was like a natural thing that happened. I don't know. You just pointed it because someone had said, Barry, it's like, you're blind at heart. The work that I do in the community with the sight loss, people said, someone said, it's like, Barry, you're blind at heart. So I said, you know what, Dave, I think I was like, hold up the cane by my heart where it's lit up. It just looks like one of those Star Wars like type of, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that is proudly on display as well. It's on a beautiful glass print, and a couple more surprises to appear down here in the coming weeks. So
I want to kind of open it up and get some people, talking. Let's talk about some of the things that we talked about. So the one I'd like to ask people, they can either put it in the Q&A or come on and speak and say hi, which I'd love, is, what was the last experience you guys had of, overcoming a fear and doing something that you'd built up in your mind and you thought, no, I couldn't do this. And, and then you did it and eventually kind of thought, wow, it wasn't as scary as I first imagined. So when was the last time you guys had that kind of experience of overcoming a fear? So I'd love to hear about that.
I like that. That's a great question, because, it could be a fear of heights. It could be a fear of tripping. It could be a fear of just going outside.
Absolutely. Well, we had literally, was it either last week or the week before, we had someone come on and say about how I gave some advice a few weeks ago or a couple of months ago on a call, and it made them kind of seize the day and go to a place that they wouldn't necessarily have normally, put up the courage to go, or
Right.
maybe backed out of. So yeah, things like that. Let's get interactive in here.
All right, I'm going to bring George on. George, I'm promoting you to a panelist. And as I said before, everyone should feel comfortable here. If you only want audio, that's great. If not, we can support video and audio as well. And I'm waiting for George to please unmute yourself.
Yeah, George actually messaged me earlier. He's first time with us for Team Poetry.
Yes.
Yeah, we certainly kind of loud and clear. George, how are you?
Doing good. I got a low battery. My little thing came up.
Okay.
Yeah. I had something I wanted to say on that about the comment about like something that I've been through.
Sure.
That kind of scared me. It was the other day. I don't see well, but I have some limbs in my yard that were blocking, when the cars back out, my visitors, my guests. And I got my saw and I was kind of terrified to use it because my machete didn't work. And usually I feel with my machete with my hands and the branches, and then I just go to doing my business. But it wasn't working that, and I was overworking myself. So I decided to get my skill saw out. And I was kind of nervous because I was scared I might cut myself. Or
how long had it been since the last time you used it?
It's been years. Years, yeah. It's been a long time since I've used it. Even though I got training at School for the Blind in Texas, under blindfold, I've often worked with power tools. My father was a carpenter, and I pretty much have some carpentry skills. But yeah, I just used kind of common sense and grabbed the cord, kept it away. But I felt good after I completed the task because it might have not looked the greatest, but it got done. The branches got removed and people were able to see as they were backing out.
Well, you've shown yourself that you're capable of doing more than sometimes you think you can or think you're safe to. So yeah, that's an awesome feeling.
Yes, it is. Yeah, because to be honest, I haven't done much. I was going to college, and I got out about a year ago when COVID hit. But yeah, I mean, to use all the senses that God have given us, to make things happen. I mean, I think that's what I've noticed over my vision loss over the last 20 years. It's pretty cool that you can use your senses and just use your abilities to make things happen, other than like just giving up and not trying
half
at all.
The time is just kind of slowing down as well, and just kind of slowing the pace down and just taking a little bit more care and being, focusing a little bit more. I think that's why, a lot of us often speak about being kind of our energy being wiped out at the end of the day, because we use so much of our focus on just kind of doing the things that most people take for granted. And it does kind of, it does kind of run you down and stress you out at times. But, when we're doing things, like, using power tools or things that we really need to take care with, we just kind of slowing things down and just, not putting pressure on ourselves and taking our time is the key.
Yep. That's right. And it gave me more confidence to be able to do it again, if needed.
George, I was going to ask you, because obviously it's your first time with us on Team Poetry. Can you kind of just tell us a little bit how you kind of found me and found us and how long you've been kind of following my poetry and things?
I found you on the retinitis pigmentosa family support group. Cool. I saw your post when you wrote poetry, I guess over the last few years. And then I started following your page. When I was younger, I used to like to write poetry, but then I kind of quit over all the years. And then I think I wrote one maybe a few years ago, but I don't write them often, but I like poetry. And then when I
You
heard
find
yours,
when it did, it kind of helps you kind of, process things and get things out.
yeah, it helps because obviously I think we all go through depression, right? I
Mhm.
think me and you talked about that when you wrote this poem about suicide one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I commented on your post, but I think obviously most of us go through a lot of depression. Some of us might be able to hide it a little better than others, but I think your poetry it kind of helps, and we're able to relate and kind of lift ourselves up from being down. Because I know some of your poetry has kind of motivated me to say, hey, it could be worse, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, well, actually, key again, September, we're on the 1st of September now. September
Can't
is
believe it.
actually Mental Health Awareness Month. I don't know if you're aware of that. So there's kind of a lot of, posts on social media and things like that, really kind of highlighting it. And I think still in this day, as you rightly said there, it does need to be something that we talk about a little bit more, and not be ashamed to speak about it, because, forget low vision, blindness, disability. I think everyone kind of, goes through, anxiety and feeling depressed sometimes and struggling. It's kind of certainly a part of life and a part of the way of the world, especially now. And I think we need to kind of, to take the stigma away and talk about it more, especially men, more freely. I think you spoke about suicide there, the suicide rate in men in particular, because men typically don't talk about it as much as women do, and kind of stifle things. Um, you know, um, if we talk about it more, I think there'd be a lot more people still with us.
Yep, that's right. I totally agree, and I think that more people should, kind of express their feelings instead of holding them in, because it just uh, permeates into worse feelings. And if you
Well,
need
it's not
help, reach
weakness,
out.
is it? It's not weakness. Admitting that you struggle is not weakness. It's actually strength. I think more
Yes.
people need to know that.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And we should reach out and talk to people instead of holding it in, and then kind of struggle and making it worse. But we all go through struggles, and none of our lives are perfect. And whether it's family issues or especially like you
Absolutely.
said, men. We are so used to doing everything for our families. And when you
Yeah,
lose your vision and you have to change your lifestyle to support your family, it can take a toll
that's
on a person.
a really key point, actually, George. A lot of men, naturally we want to be the protector, and sometimes when we can't take the roles. I mean, just simple things like just the driving thing. Being able to drive
Hmm.
our wives about. Our wives are perfectly capable of driving themselves. Sometimes it's just that thing of being a guy. You just want to be the protector. And things like that happen. I get the thing sometimes where if I'm out with my family and there's some danger, something happens, or there's someone, something, someone gets mugged, or there's someone being violent nearby, and you get scared that because of your vision. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
a pretty well built guy and I can look after myself, but because of my vision, it makes things more difficult. And I get scared sometimes that I'm not going to be able to protect my family, and that can have an impact on anxiety and depression and things like that as well. And I know a lot of people kind of would, especially men who I've spoken to,
Hmm.
and certainly from speaking to, I speak to a lot of people who who have things like RP, where it's a generational thing and hereditary through the family. And I'll maybe speak to someone whose father or grandfather has RP and doesn't go out anymore because they don't want to be seen as being vulnerable,
Hmm.
or
Yep.
feeling vulnerable when they're out in public. So instead of actually facing it, they kind of hide away and don't go out or don't go to certain places.
Yep.
And that's certainly a message that I like to kind of really talk about in my poetry, that you can still do these things.
Oh yeah,
So, yeah.
for sure. Yep.
Listen, thank
George,
you,
what,
George.
what part of Texas are you from?
I'm from the Houston, Galveston area.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Yep.
I hope to get out there eventually, as soon as the restrictions, the travel restrictions are lifted. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and unfortunately, the UK is still unable to travel to the States, and hopefully that's going to change soon. But definitely, once I can get back over there, I'll be coming to Texas.
Yep, sounds good. I hope to see you one day.
Absolutely.
Or to hear you.
Absolutely.
I have a lot of friends in that kind of neck of the woods, and I really want to, get and see a lot of people there that I consider very good friends, and some, I'd even say family.
Yep, good, man. Well, keep up the good work with the poetry. I really enjoy catching up with them and listening to the poetry.
Thank you. I hope
my
you'll keep
phone
coming
ring.
back to Team Poetry and joining us, whenever you can.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Take care, George. Take care.
All right.
So we just Ken, our dear buddy from all the way down under in Australia, who's now getting up super early to join us.
Get up at 6
Very
a.m.
grateful for that. Yep.
6 a.m. every Thursday to come
Yep.
and listen to us.
Yep, absolutely. A whole different day in Australia. But what Ken just shared, I'm not gonna read word for word, but basically I'm gonna summarize it. And Ken has said that he's had poor vision his entire life, lots of ups and downs, many operations, including cataract, detached retina in each eye, legally blind for many years. Now his vision is around 20/80 in his good eye and twice as bad in his other eye. And he said that, Ken, thanks for so much for sharing this, and hope you don't mind me putting this out there. But he said he spent his whole life like afraid to discuss his sight loss with perhaps maybe outside his immediate family, or just discuss it with others, because he thought they would feel sorry for him, and also because he thought it would hurt his business career. And he's had a lot of stories that people liked hearing, and so he retired not so long ago. And so basically, if I'm real, and I retired, so he no longer cares about his career. So he's put all the stories into a book, and it was published, which is incredible. And now he's able to really express himself, share with everyone about his sight loss all the time, and it's been very joyful and rewarding. I'm sure, Dave, for you, just by you being able to write, I'm sure you get a lot of satisfaction also by just putting things on paper, which also helps you out as well, in that same fashion.
Yeah, we spoke about this a lot. I turn to my poetry on days when I'm struggling, and now the first thought that I have when I'm having a bad eye day or struggling with something in particular is, how can I write down how I'm feeling and use it to help somebody else?
Right.
And just having that power is such an amazing thing to do. And my God, getting to do the things that I do now because of it, doing things like Team Poetry and having people kind of follow me all over the world. I mean,
well, I think on September 13th, your international reach, your international fan base is going to exponentially grow.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to be able to kind of share with everyone what I've been working on for the last couple of months, and been a part of this big campaign, which hopefully should be going live on the 13th of September there, and I'll be able to share about it and talk, and
That's on a Monday. Yeah.
You guys are going to be able to kind of actually see what I've actually been doing, and see the end result, and hear the poetry and everything else. And I really can't wait. But I always ask, I'll have people say to me when I talk to people at times, you do so much for other people, is there anything that I can do for you? How can I contribute? How can I help you in any kind of way? And I just say, if I can ask you to do one thing, it's just share and my poetry and tell other people. And all I try and do every day is replicate and reach more people. So anyone out there who wants to kind of help me in any way or support my kind of work, is just tell a person and introduce them, because as you say, it's not only people who are affected by low vision, and their families that are helped by some of the things that I write about. Also, anyone can kind of relate to it who has had any kind of, bouts with depression, anxiety, struggles with anything, or just, lives a normal life,
Right.
because that's what it's all about.
That is
I've
what it's
actually
all
got
about.
I've got a couple of pieces of poetry I want to share before we finish up, and just speaking to George kind of reminded me of this one, which I did have kind of lined up. I actually I reshared this the other day and got quite a big response about it, and it kind of spoke about what we were just talking about there, about me reminding myself through my poetry when I take a little step backwards, because we all stumble at times. And this one, I think it was actually featured in Stand By Me RP Volume 3, my third book. It's called Little Backward Step, and it goes like this. They say that I inspire them, but some days I'm not that strong. The fears that lurk inside of me make me feel I don't belong. I forget the things that I've achieved since the time that I went blind, get consumed by unseen future as the haze fills up my mind. Anxiety gets a grip of me, take a little backward step, fail to see the person I've become, focus on instead regret. Though I found my independence, I have scars from that long war. Know that this is just a stumble, stay today behind closed door. Because right now my eyes are blurry. There's a pain within my head. Had enough of these eye flashes, wish that I had stayed in bed. If I've reached the final stage now, when the sight I have's no use, we'll be left with a decision, fight or just become recluse. But I have only one real choice, for my children, wife and me. I will love the life I'm blessed with, despite what my eyes can't see. For we all sometimes have bad days, but our hope is never gone. I'll grab my cane or guide dog, kick the door down and carry on.
Carry on. And that's what it is. That's the message. Carry on.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. I'm just creating now. Travis, you're coming on next. I'm just going to create a poll. What should we name the guide dog in the illustration?
I've got one. I have a suggestion for the name.
Let me see if I can make this. You know what? I don't think I can, because I don't think I could do it. It can only be, you know what? I'm gonna have to do something differently. It won't allow me. I can only do like a multiple choice answer. So,
Okay.
yeah. So we're going to hold that off. Let me bring on Travis, who's been so patient, and I'm curious to hear what kind of sponsorships we got this evening.
Can I just say the guide dog I'm looking at? I can't see because it's obviously blurred behind you, but from seeing the picture before, it looks like a female guide dog to me.
I would say so. Yes.
So I'm going to throw out a female guide dog name, and I'm going to say Hope.
Hope. I like that. I like that. All right, let me bring on Travis. Before you do that, there's a question here. Is there a theme to name the guide dog? No, there is no theme. If you want to, again, share just put it. Just, you know what? If you have a name that you want us to officially name this guide dog that's in this illustration, just put it in the chat. Just put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Put it in the Q&A, and we will pick a name and keep you posted. Okay, Travis, here we go.
You are watching live team coverage right here, right now on TM Poetry TV, brought to you by Guide Dogs for the Blind, Kellogg Cereal, Audi, featuring the all-new Audi A4 Electric, and the Low Vision Shop, now open in Miami, Florida.
Woo! Woo! Spot on. How are you?
Wonderful. How are we doing today?
Incredible. I love that. The enthusiasm.
Yeah. Can you believe it's the first day of September?
I cannot believe it.
I definitely can't. 105 days left till Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It is just so unreal. You know, we're going to be ending this year before we know it. And
I know.
I was thinking, I was thinking about that. In a little less than 6 months, I'm going to be turning 35 years old.
Wow.
Wow, Travis, you were just a pup. You were just a young pup, aren't you? Me and Barry, you've just made us feel very old very quickly.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. What's new in the Central Coast region?
Well, not much. Just excuse me, staying busy in the workplace at Home Depot, which my 6-year anniversary of working for Home Depot is coming up on the 25th of this month.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And we did have a heat wave, like over the weekend and early this week, which we finally got some relief yesterday. And I'm not sure if you guys have been following or not with the wildfires burning. Obviously, we're far away from it, but the Tahoe Basin has been evacuated.
Yeah,
South Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, my sister actually got married in Tahoe.
Oh, she
Oh.
did. Yeah, no, and I'll tell you, it's just, it's just, I'm scary. I feel bad for all the people. Okay, it's like this, all the kids who live in that area were excited to go back to the classroom finally this year. But now look what happened. Now they're being evacuated. The schools had to close because of the fires. And of course, how about our poor businesses too that are impacted? That's another thing.
Yeah, there are a lot of crazy stuff going on. Crazy times all around.
I
Dave,
know.
Dave, you're muted, by the way.
Sorry, I was just saying there's definitely been a lot of that this year, hasn't there?
No kidding.
As far as disruption and fires and things like that all over the world.
Well, in Reno, Nevada, they've had to close their schools too because their air is just super unhealthy, especially in Tahoe. Like don't go outside, basically.
Right. So Dave put out a question, and I'm sure Dave would love for you to answer that question that was put out. If you need Dave, want to repeat that question?
Yeah. So when was the last time you got over a fear or did something that you were initially scared of and then got past that and went, what was I worried about? When was the last time you kind of overcome a fear?
Well, I hadn't had anything in recent years, but I can maybe kind of go back to my early teens, if that's okay.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, so before I got into the teens, I always had fear of going to the dentist, like most kids and everything. And I remember when my folks were away on business and my brother took me to my dental appointment for the first time. And he had to leave me while I got my teeth cleaned because he was taking care of our neighbor's dog while they were away at work and the kids were in school. And I totally did fine at my appointment by myself during my teeth cleaning.
Hey, Travis, I'm still scared to go to the dentist today.
Really?
Yes, I have this fear of going to the dentist.
Really?
Yes.
And
I know the dentist well. He's a childhood friend, and I have this fear of going to the dentist. I just have this fear. I have this fear that they're gonna be drill my mouth away.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Well, of course. Especially it's just like when other people say, oh, you're going to feel this, which you don't really want to listen to that because that's, kind of considered bad words when you hear certain things that should be, people could dwell on. That's the one thing.
I was convinced a few weeks ago that I had a root canal. I'm like, Doc, there's definitely a root canal. You'll see it. It'll come up on the x-ray. It's going to be there. You'll take care of it, right? He's like, your teeth are fine. I'm like, no, I'm telling you, it's there. It's there. He's like, your teeth are fine.
Interesting.
Thank God. So yeah, but we got past that. So hey Geraldine. Let's see what else. I was thinking about you, Travis, because I was in the competitor's store on Sunday. We won't say their name over here, but I do have to visit a Home Depot this evening in the Miami area.
Yeah.
So
okay, what do you need at Depot?
I need some air filters.
Oh, for the HVAC?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think the aisle numbers in Miami are probably exact same because not all Home Depots are laid out the same, and
Right.
depends how big they are too.
Right. So,
But
yeah.
any air filter you're looking for, remember water heaters and ducting and thermostats is where there always are.
Okay. So yeah, good to know. I wasn't even expecting to get that. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Before we go, we do have a couple people here that want to join. Is there anything else that you would love to share with the tribe tonight?
Well, first hand, I just want to say, Barry, I am really, I must say, excited that you guys are going to be expanding, hopefully, to some more locations. And congrats on the grand opening in Miami, Florida.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Travis. That means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. And I am hopeful that we will continue in our quest to be able to see more people, help more people, and continue to build and make our way across the country. So
you know what? Yeah.
No, we will never give up. We will do everything to make that happen.
No, and this will be good too. Your shops, especially for those who are going to be going to college and are going to need certain equipment if you're going away to school. That's another thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you so much as always. Love that opening. It's incredible. So thank you. And
you're most welcome, everyone.
And I'm sending you back, and I'm going to bring on Dawn. All right, be well.
Thanks.
Take care. All right, we got a lot of things going on in the chat, which is great. But thank you so much. Wow, that's a good one. Beacon of hope.
Beacon, yeah. I've seen Faith. I've seen Grace and Gracie.
Yep.
From Dave. Yeah, so some great names coming through.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. I'm trying to get Dawn to come over as a panelist.
Done.
There you are. Perfect.
I was just shopping for new face masks, and I thought of you, and I said, I wonder if he's going to come out with some blind poet face masks.
Do you know, we spoke about this last year.
We did.
We did speak about it last year, but I think, you know, a lot of places are kind of coming away from it now. I don't know what you guys are, if it's kind of they don't here in the UK, they're not mandatory anymore. Oh, there you go. Barry's got his, so maybe there's more of a market in the States than there is in the UK.
So I will tell you this, for all those out there, I just put on my face mask. I'm going to take it off. In fact, yes, actually face masks are becoming more and more important here in the US right now, given what's going on with different variants. Here in South Florida, we have a face mask. Well, in offices, we have a face mask policy, but in the building that we're in, the professional building here in South Florida, face masks are required. So, you know what? I think that face masks are going to be here for a while.
I can see BP logo on.
Yep. So, Dawn, thank you very much for the suggestion. Consider it done. And
yay!
We will
wait.
We will offer them on the Low Vision Shop. Just give us, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks, maybe less. We'll put something up there once Dave and I will finalize a design, and we will get it up there, and we can.
I actually just saw. It's funny actually. You should say that last night. Well, I woke up this morning and there was a tag. I got tagged on Instagram, which I'm sure you guys saw, because I'm sure Low Vision Shop liked it, from a good friend of ours who's actually in Florida, Tia.
Yes, I did. She saw it. I did that.
Yeah, she's been a guest for us last year, Tia.
Yes.
And she posted a picture of herself wearing a Blind Poet T-shirt.
Yes.
So yeah, we need to get a few more people wearing Blind Poet T-shirts as well. I think we need a few people getting onto the website and ordering a few out there.
Absolutely. Yep, we are going to launch some new merchandise, probably either later this year or early next year as well. So
Yeah.
stay tuned with that. But I think, you know what?
Exciting.
I think that because of what's going on with all these variants, and I heard of the South African variant now and another variant and this variant, masks are here. We'll make it happen. Even though it's late in the game, it's like, you know, it's like I had COVID back in this April. Everyone's like, you had it this April? I said, not last April? I said, no, this April. So I was a late bloomer. But yeah, we'll I think we're going to do it. We will run a very small quantity and make it limited edition. And so stay tuned. We'll keep
I can't
everyone
wait.
informed.
Thank you so much.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Dawn.
Thank you. Where are you, Dawn, by the way? I love that background.
I'm in San Diego, California.
That's right.
Oh, the
That is-
background is just angel wings.
That's what I say.
was
I like
another
it.
one of
I like it.
our stops on the tour that is kind of on hold at the moment, but San Diego would have been there too.
Yep.
Wow,
Yep. That's for
that's
sure.
nice to hear.
Yes. Yes. It's you know, I just want to say, you know, we started like a few months ago, we started, you know, getting different, you know, functions. We're having in-person gatherings, and now a lot of them are being, you know, halted. It's pretty crazy. So thanks so much for coming on, Dawn. Greatly appreciate it. Good to see you, and sending you back. Unless there's anything unless you want to answer Dave's question out there as far as challenges, you know, and fears.
Yeah, you've overcome, absolutely.
Well, I've been taking orientation and mobility classes, and I'm starting the advanced class in 2 weeks. And I went to the center for a couple lessons. And then when she was to come to my house, I got really hesitant because of all the streetlights and everything. So I canceled a couple of times. And then I was just kind of assessing what I was doing. And I finally had her come out, and she came out a few times, and we went for quite a few long walks, and there were hot days, unfortunately, but it was amazing. And I can't believe I even hesitated to do it. After I was doing it, I was so thrilled. It was just, it just put so much at ease, you know, because I've taken so many falls and gotten so many injuries and had to do so much rehab. And this was just, it was just such a joy. So I overcame that.
Never as scary as we first think it's going to be.
Yep, that is true.
That's hard to get over, but yes, you're absolutely 100% correct.
Awesome. So anyway, take care, Ken. Ken, I'm saying so on to thank you, Dawn. Ken, have a wonderful day as well. And we are going to, Dawn, you're welcome to stay on here as we wrap things up. I'm going to have Dave close things out with another piece of poetry, and then we'll say our goodbyes. And actually, before I do that, I just want to wish all of our Jewish friends out there, wishing them a happy and healthy New Year, as next week is the Rosh Hashanah. So I want to wish all of our friends a happy and healthy New Year.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to leave you this one. Barry, you're going to like the end of this.
Okay.
Because this is a poem I maybe wrote a little while ago. I kind of tweaked it. So yeah. And it kind of talks about a lot of the things that we've discussed on tonight's Tea and Poetry. So I think it's perfect for kind of finishing it off. When I am at my lowest and I'm stuck behind my door, I feel like that there's no use for me in this sighted world no more. I'm meant to be providing, but instead I'm on the shelf. I'm meant to be the strong one, not with weakened mental health. I don't want nobody's pity. That's not why I write it here. I know that I'll recover, heal from every scar and tear. The answers I've recited in every verse and poem's rhyme. But though it's still true to start anew, now I need a little more time. Only time can be my healer from this feeling deep within. But I won't keep it to myself. I won't let the darkness win. I found a place with friends who I can trust with how I see. I'm grateful for this tribe I have in tea and poetry.
Beautiful. I am also so grateful for this tribe that we have here. I want to thank everyone for joining us this afternoon, this evening, or this morning in that specific order. This is an international audience, and it's going to be, I know it's going to be significantly grow come September 13th. Can't wait to share all about that. And I also want to say and stress that if there's a TM Poetry that you liked and there's something that you want to hear, specific poetry that they've read in the past, TM Poetries are uploaded to YouTube to the Blind Poet channel every single week, and go check it out. It's got a great intro, outro, and it's looking great. Got a nice animated Blind Poet logo as well, and check them out. Feel free to share them, and also bring a friend next time. So saying so long from South Florida and from Manchester, United Kingdom. Welcome back, Mr. Ronaldo, is that his name?
Absolutely, Cristiano Ronaldo.
And
Thank you for watching Tea and Poetry, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Join us live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UK. A big thank you to our sponsors, the Lanny D. Chesapeake Lighthouse and the Low Vision Shop. If you enjoyed Tea and Poetry, please invite a friend, like, share, and subscribe.